So how do you feel when you have a lot of things going on and you have so much to scramble with, including the messy kitchen, right? Making the meals, keeping up with the family, doing your work, all the things, but you have some emotional pain. You have something coming up for you in life and you're like, I just don't have time to even process that. I'm with you. I understand. That's why I'm shooting this right here so you can see the raw evidence of everything that I have going on. Oh, which reminds me, I need to turn this off. So much happening and you have feelings that keep coming up. It's really easy just to keep suppressing them. And you all, as a part of our weekend recap, I want you to look back into your week and see where this was coming up for you, where you were experiencing some pain, where you're experiencing emotions that felt heavy, that felt overwhelming, that felt daunting, that felt frustrating, and you're like, I ain't got time for that. I got to keep moving. I have to compress and push on. And so either you push down the emotions, if you've heard of that saying, you lock them up and you throw away the key, right? I have a saying that I like to do when I have something that comes up for me, and yes, this still happens, even though I'm a coach, is that things come up for me and I'm like, okay, I want to close the door on it and I want to jam something under the door and keep it locked up. I'm not ready to process this. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. I just don't have the time. And so here I am, I'm making dinner and something pops up because my mind is just going towards the food. I'm just thinking about what I have to get done, but there's not heavy concentration. That these thoughts can stop to pop back in and they can try to start knocking at the door in my mind. And however that is for you, maybe that's when it comes up. So I thought, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna film this video right here in the kitchen while I'm working on dinner because I want you to see how this happens for me. And so you can start to pause and reflect and see how this might be happening for you. There are different ways. Some people say they get a lot of thoughts, good and bad, in the shower because their mind is relaxed, they're doing their thing, right? And they're not really focused on what else is happening. Some people have thoughts come up when they're relaxed and are watching TV, or a lot of people have the thoughts when they lay in bed at night and they turn off the lights and it's quiet, right? There come those thoughts that you thought you'd pushed away, that you didn't have time to deal with earlier, and now they're back. Started to take some of the time that I had been avoiding, some of the time that I didn't want to do, to reflect on those things that I'd locked up behind the door. And so for me, it was about taking the time to unlock the door, to address one issue. I didn't go through all of them, but there was one that I knew was very strong, one that I needed to give some focus to. And so I took out that one issue, and with a coach, I took some time to talk through it. And interestingly enough, because it had been locked behind the door of my mind, there was something that came out of that coaching session, something that my coach helped me to explore and look at, that helped me to realize, oh, that's why that's so painful. I hadn't looked at it from that angle before. And so I talked through that. It was blowing my mind. I had to just kind of sit with it, and then came back. I waited 2 days, but I came back through my notes and I was like, okay, maybe there was some value to that. I was really processing with this new way of looking at that problem, this new perspective that was causing me so much pain. And I kept sticking it on pause and putting it behind the door, not wanting to deal with it, but the pain was still under that. And so I had to work through that, had to start evaluating. So what I'm asking you is there something that you have stifled, you pushed aside, you've compressed, you said, I didn't have time for that, that maybe now is a smart time to make the time? Can you schedule in a space this week to look at something that has been mounting, something that has been a problem that you just set aside? Can you open yourself up to giving yourself judgment-free zone to look at the problem and to evaluate what's going on, how you need to feel about this, what you want to feel about it, what's coming out of your exploration? You know, so much of what we do in coaching is just exploring the thoughts, but we can only explore the thoughts that you make available. So is there anything, especially in the most current week, or something that's come up and been knocking at the door over the week, that's even a lingering thought that was painful that you weren't wanting to address? Are there feelings that now you could take the time to process it and see what that would feel like? Experience the full weight of it. Put yourself in a safe place where you feel like, I can do this. I can be here. I can be safe. I know I'm in a safe zone, and I can take time just to look at my thoughts around these feelings that to me have been harboring pain. What would that do for you?
Right? We got to be alert to that. It might be daunting. It might be overwhelming to some extent, but in the long run, do you see how this is going to help you to work through this and to come out on the other side knowing? Because when we hold on to pain about something that's happened in the past, we're keeping that past experience alive. Instead of laying it to rest and saying, that's over, that's gone, that can't hurt me anymore, we're really hanging on to that. And when we are hanging on to that, that's allowing that pain to still be there. Do you see that? But if we can work through the pain, even if it's slow and steady, but we're working through the pain, we're processing it for ourselves, that allows us to move to a time and a space where we can finally let it go. We can finally relinquish whatever it was that upset us so and move past it.
That would be a really amazing place to be. Think of how much more you could get done. I might get all the dishes done as well as getting dinner made. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna get back to our family dinner, getting all that ready because they're about to bust through the door any minute. So thankfully I also got the video recorded without interruption. But just keep in mind, what you put aside has a way of coming back.